Are you showing up when buyers ask AI tools for the best products in your category? Even if your brand ranks first on Google and dominates paid search, that does not guarantee you appear in AI-generated recommendations. The shift is already here. 58% of consumers now use tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Gemini, and Microsoft Copilot instead of traditional search engines for research and product discovery. That is why teams are turning to Gauge from withgauge.com. In this review, I will explain what Gauge does, how it works, who it fits, how it compares, and the results teams aim for when they operationalize Generative Engine Optimization. Let us start with the problem. AI answer engines compress the buying journey. Instead of showing 10 blue links, they synthesize top options, reasons, and citations into a single response. If you are not included in that initial shortlist, or not cited by the sources these models trust, you effectively disappear from customer consideration. Traditional SEO platforms cannot tell you whether you are in the answer. They track rankings and traffic, not AI presence, citation patterns, or competitive share inside AI responses. Gauge is an AI visibility monitoring and optimization platform designed for this new reality. It tracks how often your brand appears in AI-generated answers across major systems, including ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Microsoft Copilot, and Google AI overviews. You define your category, import queries you care about, identify competitors, and Gauge begins testing and logging answers. It measures several core metrics. Presence rate shows the percentage of queries where your brand is named. Share of answer shows how often you appear relative to competitors. It captures rank within the answer, citation count, and source domains that influence the response. Gauge also classifies intents such as commercial, transactional, or informational, and groups semantically similar questions so you can manage by themes, not just keywords. Tracking alone is not enough, so Gauge analyzes the content signals behind inclusion. It surfaces which articles, product pages, documentation, review sites, comparison pages, and data sources are being cited. It flags missing assets, outdated information, thin product specs, and schema opportunities. Then it generates action plans. These are prioritized tasks that connect the dots from visibility gaps to concrete steps such as updating your solution pages to clarify pricing tiers, enriching product specs with structured data, commissioning third-party reviews where credible, consolidating duplicative content that dilutes authority, or refreshing how-to guides that AI engines frequently cite in your space. The playbooks also recommend outreach to authoritative publications that tend to appear in citations for your category, so you pursue coverage that genuinely shifts AI answers. Dashboards summarize your current standing and changes over time. You can filter by engine, model family, geography where supported, intent cluster, or competitor. Weekly or on-demand, Gauge retests your query sets and alerts you to meaningful deltas, such as a drop in inclusion for Perplexity after a competitor published a new benchmark, or a spike in AI overview citations after you added structured data and clarified FAQs. Teams export reports for leadership and connect Gauge outputs to analytics and BI systems through scheduled exports and webhooks. This allows marketing, product marketing, and SEO to see geometrics alongside pipeline, revenue, and brand lift. Use cases span industries. B2B SaaS teams monitor whether their platform is named in best tools roundups generated by ChatGPT and Claude, then optimize category pages and customer proof to earn inclusion. E-commerce brands analyze why Perplexity recommends certain products and which buyer guides get cited, then adjust product detail pages, comparison charts, and buyer education content. Fintech companies check bank or card recommendation answers for compliance and accuracy, while working to ensure authoritative reviews and documentation are readily crawlable and consistent. Multi-location businesses compare visibility across regions and tune local pages and third-party listings to influence localized answers. Agencies operate Gauge across clients to prioritize content sprints that yield measurable AI answer gains. Common questions. Does Gauge use AI? Yes. Gauge uses models to cluster intents, detect entities, classify citations by influence, and score opportunities so recommendations are not just keyword lists, but concrete playbooks. How difficult is onboarding? Most teams start by importing their existing keyword lists, then refactor them into intent-based questions that align with how people ask AI systems. You set competitor sets, pick engines to track, and start collecting baseline metrics within days. What about accuracy and variance across engines? AI systems are non-deterministic. Gauge mitigates this by testing on schedules, sampling multiple prompts per intent, versioning results, and reporting confidence ranges over time. What does success look like? The leading indicators are rising presence rate, increasing citation count from authoritative sources, and improved share of answer compared to a defined peer set. Downstream, teams look for higher assisted discovery from AI-driven sessions, more branded searches that include your product name plus category, and faster inclusion in third-party comparisons. Pricing and plans are typically quote-based and vary by the number of tracked topics, engines monitored, query volume, and user seats. Enterprises often start with a pilot in a key category, then expand coverage once teams operationalize the playbooks and reporting cadence. If you need a precise estimate, the practical step is to request a scoping call with real query sets and competitor lists. How does Gauge compare to alternatives? Several SEO platforms now monitor Google AI overviews or search generative experience, including BrightEdge, SEO Clarity, SEMrush, and Authoritas. These are strong for Google-centric workflows. Gauge differentiates by treating AI engines as a multi-channel surface, tracking ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, and Copilot as first-class endpoints, and by emphasizing prescriptive action plans across content, PR, and structured data. If your priority is broad cross-engine visibility and you want operational guidance, Gauge will feel more end-to-end. If your scope is limited to Google AI overviews, an SGE-focused module inside your existing SEO suite may suffice. Strengths of Gauge include broad engine coverage, actionable playbooks tied to citation analysis, competitor benchmarking, and change detection that aligns with content sprints. Limitations to consider. The ecosystem is young and the engines evolve quickly, so metrics may fluctuate as models update. Some recommendations require cross-functional collaboration with PR, product, and legal, which means organizational buy-in is as important as tooling. Finally, the value scales with the quality of your content and your ability to secure authoritative citations. Tools guide you, but execution wins inclusion. Who should buy Gauge? If your growth depends on being named in category shortlists and third-party validated comparisons, and you operate in competitive B2B or consumer markets, Gauge is worth a pilot. If your team lacks bandwidth to act on recommendations, start with a smaller scope or pair Gauge with an agency that can execute content, technical, and outreach work. Here's a quick checklist. Do you know your inclusion rate across ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, and AI overviews today? Do you know which sources and pages those systems cite most often in your category? Do you have a prioritized action plan that connects visibility gaps to content and citation work? If any answer is no, Gauge can help close the loop. Bottom line, AI answer engines are reshaping discovery. Gauge gives you measurement, insight, and playbooks so your brand shows up when it counts. Start with a baseline across your top intents, compare engines, implement the highest impact actions, and measure week over week. That is generative engine optimization in practice, and it is fast becoming a core pillar of modern go-to-market.